Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming, for sticking around. I realize we are what stands between you and candy, so we will try to get through this a little closer. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nelson Zabrera. I'm Director of Account Management, servicing the sports and entertainment industry. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce to you today Carter Ellis. In today's presentation, Carter will share how True North Sports and Entertainment and the Winnipeg Jets have built upon a segmentation foundation to connect with different fans. Carter Ellis is a data analyst at True North in Sports and Entertainment, and he's held similar positions previously at Bell and at Angus Systems. Carter completed his undergrad at Dalhousie University and went on to UCF to pursue an MBA and Master's in Sports Business Management. In his presentation today, Carter will elaborate how the TNSE leveraged both their data and combined analysis with several EA data assets to deepen their understanding of what different triggers drive value for different fan types and how to enhance their relevancy with differentiated campaigns to grow with both new and existing fans. With that, I will hand it off to Carter to introduce you to TNSE and the Winnipeg Jets and talk to you about their data-driven journey.
Thanks, Nelson, and thank you all for being here today. As you mentioned, I'm Carter Ellis, and I work with True North Sports and Entertainment in the Winnipeg Jets as a data analyst in the business intelligence team. So I'm here to talk about data and diversity and how we use it to drive growth within sports and our fans that are attendees at our Winnipeg Jets games specifically. So with True North Sports and Entertainment, we own and operate the Winnipeg Jets, obviously, and that's our primary property, but we also have the Manitoba Moose, which is our AHL team, which operate, and both of these teams play out of Canada Life Centre. So we own and operate Canada Life Centre as well, and within Canada Life Centre, we also work on all the event spaces that happen there. So recently we had the Chicks there, which was a lot of fun. And then, so we have AHL, NHL hockey, we have concerts and events within this venue. We also have the Burton Cummings Theatre in the Exchange District in Winnipeg, which is a lot of fun. So we have a lot of smaller shows there. So we run and own and operate those venues and do a lot of reporting on all of these events. We have Hockey for All Centre in Western Winnipeg, which is our four-pad iceplex, where the hockey teams practice, and we also do a lot of youth sports there. So we do all the reporting, surveying, and segmentation on all of these properties. We also do a lot of work with the True North Youth Foundation, which does a lot of work within Winnipeg and the youth, obviously, in Project 11 in there, which does a lot of mental health initiatives within schools. So today I'll be talking about specifically fan segmentation for the Winnipeg Jets, but some of the other things we do is a lot of reporting, a lot of surveying. Last year we completed a conjoint analysis for our member of benefits, so analyzing to see what levels and features really matter to members at our hockey games. So whether it's a full season member, how they value food and beverage benefits versus playoff priority versus other things like that. And then we also do a lot of dynamic pricing, which we're going to start to get into a lot more this season to really do some variable pricing for individual ticket sales for the Winnipeg Jets. So as you may know, the Winnipeg Jets returned to Winnipeg in 2011, so just about 12 years ago. And so over this time, at this time we had a very big peak in interest, and everyone wanted to come to the Winnipeg Jets games, and fan avidity and everyone wanted, fan avidity, and you couldn't get tickets to a Winnipeg Jets game. We were essentially sold out everywhere. And then there was like a 5-year wait list for our season ticket members. And then this really peaked in 2018 when the team reached the conference finals. And at the conference finals, a lot of our fans we found were spending a lot of money and time and energy trying to get tickets to the playoff games. The secondary market was going crazy, and then there was a lot of investment in the team, and then after that we kind of reached a bit of a playoff hangover coming out of that, where a lot of fans lost interest, especially for regular season games. They wanted to put their effort into other things that wasn't hockey at that time. And then coming out of this, a couple years later, obviously COVID hit, as all of you know, and then and the Winnipeg Jets had some of the longest shutdown in all professional sports in North America. So coming out of this recovery period was really hard. And so kind of some of our biggest business challenges is kind of how do we grow, how do we get new consumers to come in, because obviously it's about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we had like 14,000 full season tickets, and now we're about just under 10,000. So we need to make up that gap on a game-to-game basis of where do all these fans come from. And obviously also competing with the online and experience has changed significantly over that, and how people are activating with Jets games, streaming on TV, and everything's changed significantly. So this is some of the biggest challenges that we've been facing over the past 2 to 3 years. So coming out of this, we kind of I have it up here as kind of a digital and data strategy, but they're kind of essentially the same thing, as you know. So last season in October, we launched the Winnipeg Jets app, and out of this, the Jets 360 loyalty program, which has really been a great use for us to really build out that fan funnel and that fan pyramid that we have here on the left of your screen. And so at the bottom of this pyramid, you see we have latent fans, which is essentially anyone that's the potential to be a Winnipeg Jet fan or game attendee. And that's anyone who lives in Manitoba, Northwestern Ontario, into North Dakota, South Dakota, and then into Saskatchewan, essentially. And then as we move up the pyramid, we have casual fans, and these are the people that do consider themselves Winnipeg Jets fans, though they may not be showing up to our games on a regular basis or at all. They may watch the games, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature, sorry, X. And then moving up the pyramid here, we have the engaged ticket buyers. These are fans that come to 1 or 2 games a season. They're individual buyers. They come to 1 to 2 games a season. They consider themselves ticket buyers. We see them in our database. However, they're not ticket buyers or package holders at any level. And then above this, we have our partials, and that's game packs, quarter season plans. Moving up then in our seasons, which is our half season, full season. And then at the very top, we have our VIP or our premium customers. So it's really all about kind of activating our fans through the Jets 360 app and through our in-house surveying, where we're surveying the fan forum, understanding all of our Jets fans, reaching out to them where they're at in Twitter, and understanding like how they're consuming Jets content, and also doing ticket buyer data to really understand and try to move up our fans throughout this funnel, and then pairing that as well with Environics and our segmentation, which I'll touch on in a couple of slides here, and this Prism data to really understand and learn about our Jets fans, how to grow, how to further capitalize on them, and move forward. And then ultimately reach them and create the best packages for them and cater our product to our fans specifically, and try to get them to come out to Jets games on a greater level. So who are our fans? So as I mentioned, we did a segmentation project with Environics earlier this season in about April. And then out of this, we kind of realized that there's about 5 key segments within Winnipeg Jets fans, and then as this one tactical group as well. So we're kind of over-indexing in penetration rate for these top 5 segments here, which is premium established families, plush families, full season boomers, younger Jetsters, and then diverse families. And then the multicultural menage segment we're just under average index there. So this is really the target segment we're really looking to grow within the next several years. And then as you can see on the right here of this total household population of Manitoba of just 1.4 million, the 5 segments that were already found in our population here make up over 40% of that total population of Manitoba. And if we include this tactical group of multicultural menage, over 50% of the Manitoba population is really already found within our data set. So we realize that we're already capturing a significant amount of Manitoba right now, but it's how do we capture just more of this non-target area as well as the multicultural menage, and really upsell those that are in these segments that aren't actively coming to Jets games. So touching on these segments a bit further, so as I mentioned, the 5 segments that are kind of on the top and the left of your screen on the bottom row here are the segments that are already over-indexing compared to the Manitoba average. And then the multicultural menage, we're slightly under-indexing compared to Manitoba. And then the top row that's kind of highlighted, these are the segments we're really finding that where all of our package buyers are predominantly coming from, and especially our full season packages. So the premium established families is kind of, as it says, it's the older affluent families. They're within urban areas in Winnipeg, or just the suburbs just outside Winnipeg, some of the more expensive real estate around town. They're avid Jets fans and they're premium season buyers, so they come to a lot of games, and they're coming either with their older children who have just moved out, with their spouse, or they're coming with clients in a business capacity or colleagues. Plush families are middle-aged families with above average age kids. Their kids are like teenagers just getting ready to move out of town. These are full season plans, full season buyers, though they are not within our premium sections in their building. So they're within the 100 level bowl, 200 level bowls, but not in our premium club areas. And then our full season boomers are kind of the older families with children that have already moved out. Their full season or share partner plan, so that essentially means that they're part of a ticketing group. A lot of the people in these segments have been with us since 2011, and they've been with the same ticket group throughout that time, so the past 12 years, which essentially means that they can't afford time or money-wise to come to all of our games, so they may split it with 5 or 10 of their friends, where each one will come to 2, 3, 4 games throughout the season. So they would consider themselves a package buyer, even though we may not consider them that. And that's just because they have other priorities, whether they are snowbirds and going south during the winter, or they have other activities, or just can't afford to come to every Jets game and take on the full brunt of a package themselves. Younger Jetsters, so this is the smallest segment we have. I don't know if you remember on the last slide, it's below 5% of Manitoba's population makes this up. Though we're seeing this is more and more, especially within Winnipeg, which is young families, young singles. They have average household income, and if they have kids, they're still in that youth area. So a lot of these buyers, they can't afford a full season plan. So these are a lot of quarter season plans, half season plans, and game packs where they may come to a handful of games a season. And then that's really, if we want to target this segment, that's really what we'd push, maybe our pick pack of 8 games a season, something like that. Diverse families is diverse middle-aged families with average household incomes. Again, these have young to middle-aged kids, teenagers. They're showing up in our data, or they're over-indexing in our data versus Manitoba, but again, they're only coming to a handful of games a season, and they're just buying one-off tickets. They're not buying packages as of yet. And then our multicultural menage, as I mentioned earlier, is our tactical segment. So this is the segment we're under-indexing compared to Manitoba. And they have average rates for attending Jets games, just under average. But again, these are individual ticket buyers, and they have below average household income, though this segment is significantly over-indexing in terms of post-secondary education rates. So we know that this segment's going to grow financially within the next several years and be able to really afford that ticket package within the next couple of years, and so really building that fan avidity and loyalty and reaching this community right now is incredibly important. So working with Environics, we're really able to break down all of these separate segments and really able to target them and communicate with our marketing and sales departments on how to best reach and attract and engage with these fans. So we can see kind of the life stage and maintainer age of all of these segments. And then we can kind of see here in this second row how they're currently showing up in our data. So we can see that the premium established families, as I mentioned, is over-indexing for full season, half season, and quarter season buyers. However, the diverse families is under-indexing in full season attendees, but just about at index for half season and quarter season plans. But as I mentioned in the past slide, this segment significantly over-indexes in individual game buyers. So they are showing up, but they're just not buying as many packages as this other segment. We're also able to see what kind of media these people typically consume. So if we're trying to push a premium package right now, which we are, so we we work with the marketing and sales team to kind of understand where do we want to go to push premium packages to this premium established group. So maybe that's print, newspaper, or home improvement television. And then also understand how do we engage with these people. So ice skating, golfing, what kind of drinks do they like? What kind of brands do they like? And then the brands is also incredibly important when we want to meet with our corporate partnerships team and try to understand when we're putting together a deck for them or looking at potential partnerships there as well, and kind to see who's already our fans and understanding what brands they like as well. Similarly with diverse families for our game packs, we're looking at where do we go for them, so if it's jazz radio or the internet for website banners. And then also understanding what kind of appeals to these two groups or what kind of avoids these groups as well. So our commitment to diversity kind of supports our growth within the Winnipeg Jets. So every year, out of the 44 home games a season, we kind of have 10 to 15 games which we would push out of our promo games every season. So this past season, we've had Filipino Heritage Night, Pride Night, South Asian Heritage Night, our WASAC Night, WASAC is the Winnipeg Aboriginal Sport and Achievement Center. So this is our Indigenous game every year. And then we also have Black History Night and Celebrating Women in Sport Night. So these are some of our games where we're really going into these communities and really being intentional about reaching them and celebrating them and having them come and feel safe at a hockey game and at a Winnipeg Jets game. So these 3 games I've highlighted are some of the games that I'll talk about specifically on the next slide. I'm sorry. So Jets attendees over time. So this is our last 3 full seasons on the chart on the left here, and then the visible minority presence within the Jets games of these past 3 seasons. So starting in 2018-19, 21-22, and 22-23, obviously removing the COVID years. And then in the bottom of the chart, we kind of have the index where red is over-indexing and blue is under-indexing. I don't know how well you can see the numbers there, and then 100 is kind of the index essentially. So we're seeing that about 10% of our fans over the past 3 years are of South Asian descent and coming to our games. So this is pretty significantly over-indexing the rest of the Manitoba index. So we're seeing that these fans are already coming to our games, and having this night is really an area to celebrate them and make them feel safe and welcome, and showing that we acknowledge their presence and we value their presence within the community and specifically within the hockey community. And we're seeing that on our South Asian Heritage Night, which was this past February. We're seeing an even higher proportion of South Asian people showing up at our games. However, for Indigenous and Filipino people coming to our games, we're seeing that we're under-indexed compared to Manitoba, specifically with the Indigenous group people, where we're significantly under-indexing. We're about still 10%, though this is about an index of 57 compared to the Manitoba average, as Manitoba has a very high proportion of Indigenous people. And this is an area where we want to continue to really show up for these groups, work with the True North Youth Foundation, and really grow from a youth level, support them in hockey, have them grow with hockey and grow with the Winnipeg Jets, and then really build that fandom from a youth level and then really build it up. So as you can see, like our promo night for Wasak we're a bit higher than our average, about 10.7% of our fans were Indigenous at this past year's game. And then this is still quite a bit under the Manitoba average. So really reaching these communities and having them show up to Winnipeg Jets games and really going into their community and reaching them there is something that's really important to us right now. And then so for Filipino people as well, same thing. So for the promo night on Filipino Heritage Night, we were about over-indexed compared to Manitoba, though again, we're still hoping to have them show up more and more at regular season games that aren't the Filipino Heritage Night, so we can reach index and really over-index in this community on a regular basis as well. And then, so as you can see, we're significantly over-indexing Manitoba and Chinese population coming to the Winnipeg Jets games, and this is something that we're really needing to work towards this next season. We're thinking about how do we really celebrate this community, and in the next 2 years, we're gonna have a Chinese Heritage Night at the Winnipeg Jets to really celebrate them and have them showing out more and really going to their community. And similarly, with Black people as well, we're seeing more and more people come to the games on about 4.5%, which is about over-index. Then we have our Black History Night, and we're really gonna make that a bigger game within the next year as well, and really celebrate this community as well within Manitoba and Winnipeg. So transitioning a bit to our app data as well, which I mentioned. So our app is something that we're proud of, which we launched last October, within the app we have our loyalty program, which is our Jets 360 program. And in the app, people can go into Ticketmaster, buy and sell, scan their tickets. They can scan at the POS for merchandise or food and beverage, where they'll get loyalty points based on how much they spend. It's also within the app where members will be able to access their benefits. So if they want their 25%, 15%, depending on what level member they are, they'd need to download the app and scan it. Also at Hockey for All Center for youth sports, this is where they'd register their children for this, so you can really understand our fan, kind of a holistic view, where they're going, what games they're going to, where they're going within the building, what kind of food and beverage they're interested in. And then also within the app, we can also see what kind of content they're consuming, from team news to a standings perspective, what push notifications is appealing to them, what challenges within the Jets 360 app are appealing to them, whether they're checking in at arenas throughout the city, whether they're checking in at the Jail Howard Chuck statue just outside the building, what tickets are they interested in from a concert or game perspective. So this kind of, the app has been tremendous in helping us understand our fans at a better level. And we've also had significant success with it to date. Our goal initially when we launched was 44,000 downloads, and as of mid-July, we've had over 65,000 downloads. So it's increasing our touch points with our existing fans, as well as help us grow that base at the bottom of the pyramid, and help us build that fan funnel throughout. And then also, we're seeing that greater attendance as well as greater spend at games are coming from our Jets 360 members, where we're just under 6 fans per game or just under 6 games per fan of Jets 360 members, compared to just over 1 game per non-Jets 360 member this past season. This is removing all fans who have attended 0 games, so it's a bit skewed in that way. And additionally, with our average spend per cap, just under $26 for Jets 360 members and just over $22 for non-members. So again, these numbers are a bit skewed because we kind of set these barriers to try to help our to try to get our plan holders to download the Jets 360 app, where this is where they scan their benefits and things. So again, like, it's going to be skewed with our fans who are already coming to the most and spending the most, but we just learn more and more about them as well in terms of who they are and what they're doing when they come to a Winnipeg Jets or Manitoba Moose game. Finally, our Jets 360 app is also helping us reach a younger audience, where we're seeing for Gen X, we're just about average compared to the average attendee of a Winnipeg Jets game. However, we're over-indexing significantly in Gen Z and millennials from who has the app downloaded versus what proportion is showing up at our games. And we're under-indexing in the baby boomers in 77-plus areas as well, which makes sense and didn't surprise us. But it's really helping us network and create with that younger fan, building that fan loyalty and avidity from a young age, which we found and has been proven for sports teams. If we have a fan before the age of 18, they're more likely to be a fan for life. As well, our downloads are emerging from more concentrated areas, so newer build communities within and around Winnipeg, some of the suburb areas as well. So we're seeing that the postal code data is lining up as well. We're also seeing that it's helping us reach the visible minority segment as well, which I talked about. So again, we're over-indexing in South Asian, Chinese, and Black and Arab within Winnipeg. However, you can see here that we're under-indexing pretty significantly towards the Filipino community within Winnipeg, and you may notice the Indigenous community isn't even on our top 5. So again, we're continuing to under-index significantly in terms of those 2 specific groups of people. So this is an area where we really need to continue to be intentional and focus on and help them show up to Winnipeg Jets games and really reach them so they can show up to Winnipeg Jets games in the future. And then we're seeing that couples with children at home, university educated, and earning above average incomes are also over-indexing within our Jets 360 data. So what's next for us as a business intelligence department within the Winnipeg Jets and True North Sports and Entertainment is really diving deeper into these groups and these PRISM groups within to really understand them better, build on them, and connect with our marketing and sales teams to learn how we can better activate, what insights, how can we better activate and build on this. As I mentioned, we only kind of started this process in April, so we still have a long way to go, a lot more understanding and more merging it with our own internal data, such as the app. I want to do a lot more work with mobile escapes and understanding our visitors to the building. Specifically, we have a good understanding for Jets games and Moose games and anything we sell tickets for, but especially for our youth events or at Hockey for All Center, things of that nature. Next week, we have a non-ticketed event during training camp, so everyone can come out to that, and really understanding who's coming to these events. So using mobile escapes will be a great use case for that, which I'm excited to dive into. And then we also have just learning how to better measure our success in this. So what KPIs should we do, and how can we continuously improve and reach them? So that's it for me. Thank you so much for coming. I hope I didn't, yeah, thanks.